Previously on the Frontier Farmer.
Fantastic. We can see some good germination. Tractor Run friends are getting ready to depart. And here is our Volvo tractor. So we are going to give this a bit of a dash. So while we wait for our harvests to be ready, I think we're going to do a bit of a camp out. Here we go. What a suite of equipment. But let's get this wheat all harvested. And I think it's fair to say that the New Holland has absolutely rocked that harvest. 34,612 litres of wheat. Get our barley all nicely harvested. Straw as byproduct yet again. 17,528 litres. Right, let's get baling. Last row cleared. I think next time it's going to be collecting up those bales, and potentially some of our other fields will be ready to harvest as well. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Frontier Farmer at the Dark Forest. We are now in August, and I'm in the IFA first of all, and you'll see in the distance we've got the pickup truck driving over the bridge. That's because Thomas is kindly driving the pickup over to Riverways for us, and it has a trailer full of wool and honey, and that's because we need some wool over at the pet accessories. And the honey I think we are going to sell at the farm shop. But I am following because we need to go and grab the flatbed trailer so we can empty the fields, that's Newfield and Stone Field, of all the bales that we baled up last time from harvesting our wheat and barley. So we have a lot of straw bales to shift first of all this morning. So we'll grab the flatbed, park up in the field, and go and grab the telehandler so we can get those bales loaded up. Crossing the bridge into Riverways, and I think Thomas's first port of call is the pet accessories to drop the wool off. That is what's going to be needed, and fortunately for us the flatbed is just behind the dairy. I think we last used it to transport some sugar from the sugar mill. Can squeeze through here, and yes, looks like the wool has deposited successfully. I think the next port of call for Thomas is the farm shop, but let's hitch up to the flatbed and get this back to the farm. Probably best to reverse out of here. Now this trailer is a bit of a struggle for the poor IFA. We might have to switch to the Iveco, but as you'll see there is a nice new home for the fire truck. We decided to park that up in the wood storage yard, or the wood processing yard, as that's quite a nice purpose-built building, and it's got some garages, so the fire truck fits in quite nicely there, and we don't have to build a purpose-built fire station. Right, let's head back over to the homestead, and I think we'll probably switch to the Iveco just because these bales are all going to weigh quite a bit once we've got them stacked high. It's a lovely midsummer morning, and yes, we have some harvests due next month, the sugar beets and the sunflowers, so that is going to be interesting to conduct. Right, I think we will probably park the trailer up here so we can switch the Iveco over to it, park the IFA, and then we can grab the old telehandler. Now, I do like finding jobs for the IFA because it's one of my favourite trucks, but it is quite low on horsepower, so sometimes we do use it beyond its means. And ooh, over here we can see our sunflowers are nicely growing. Fantastic. They are getting quite tall and they are facing the sun. That is good. Right, let's hop in the Iveco. There we go. We've got the Iveco now, and that gives us a bit more beef. We did obviously invest in this Iveco, so it's quite right that we use it. I think I'm going to have to go this route into Newfield because we need some turning space for the trailer to get in the field. Wide berth so we don't chop the sunflowers in half. And there we go, we should have some good access into Newfield here. And I think I'm going to just drop the trailer off into the middle of the field, and the telehandler will have to do most of the moving around, and then we can switch over to Stone End Field. There we go. That looks about central. Telehandler conveniently parked under the hayloft garage, and we've already got the bale spike, so that is good news. Start it up. It's a rather loud machine. It's got a good gargle to it. And I think the destination for our straw bales is primarily in the dovecote, but that can only take 100,000 litres, so any spare will go into the hayloft to then be put in the dovecote at a later date. But I am going to start stacking. I think we'll probably be able to achieve 3 bales high, and we may fill a trailer, we may not, we will have to wait and see. Let's get this lowered out a little bit and pick up our first bale, and then we can hopefully get all these loaded quick sharp. And there we go. The last 2 bales stacked on there without causing too many major disasters. I think I'm just going to give them a little bit of a shunt to straighten them up. And I think overall not done too bad a job. It is by no means the neatest, but by no means the messiest either. And I have had to deal with some rather misbehaving bales, or bales behaving badly I should say, because we had a few falling off and they seemed to like moving off the end of the spikes, defying gravity. So yes, some very awkward bales at times, and I had to drop them off, restack them. Oh, there we go, there's one protruding. That's not the neatest, but we have got them all stacked and it did fit in all quite nicely, apart from we are missing one here. But let's jump in the truck and see how many we have got. Oh, it doesn't tell me the count of the bales, but we have got 145,200 litres. Fantastic. Well, we've got more than what can fill the dovecote, so we'll drop off what we can, and then the rest can be pushed into the hayloft. Fantastic. Now, this is a very full trailer, but it's always nice to get a good quantity of straw as byproduct, as that's going to give us the natural fertilizer we need by way of manure. So let's get this in the dovecote around here. I'm having to meander. Oh, there we go. Nearly tipped and lost some bales there. Luckily they are strapped in quite nicely. Right, let me get these offloaded here. Right, most have been offloaded and it's taken half of the bale that sat out the front there. We will leave that there to be consumed once it started processing the straw into manure. It's not the fastest of processes, but it will nice and steadily get that straw converted into manure for us. And the rest of the bales can go round here into the hayloft. And then of course we will have to go and clear Stone End Field as well, but I think I'll spare you all of the bale stacking as we've done enough of that this morning. And there we go, that's all the straw inputted, and we've got 116,000 litres of straw in here. That is good, and we should be able to set this to distribute to the dovecote as and when we need it to, but for now that is pretty good. So let's hop back in the Iveco, get the trailer parked up in Stone End Field and the telehandler over there as well, and we can get some bales stacked yet again. Right, here's Stone End Field and a good amount of bales in here as well. Same strategy, we'll park in the middle and that should give us good access to get all these bales stacked up. Back in the telly and head over to get some bales stacked. And there we go. Slightly quicker job, but we have managed to get all of these bales loaded up relatively efficiently. Now I did start stacking in 3s, but then realised we were not going to be filling this trailer up. So switched to 2s, that made life a little bit easier. Right, let's get this last bale on. And there we go. Right, we'll get the telehandler dropped off and then come back to see how many we have on this trailer. For this trailer, the load will be going straight to the hayloft as we don't have any more space in the dovecote. Just weave through the gap here and get the telehandler parked up where we found it. There we go. And into the Iveco. I can't see any yet, but if we lash them all, 66,000 I think I can see there. Fantastic. Right, let's get this trailer spun round and over to the hayloft. Must be scaring the chickens to death coming around the corner with this big old truck and trailer. But here we go, let's get these unloaded. And that brings us up to 180,000 litres now. So I'm pretty happy that we've got very good stocks of straw. 100,000 litres in the dovecote and an extra 185,000 in the hayloft. I see we have missed one here. Tell you what, we will just give that a little push and roll into the hayloft. There we go. Fantastic. That is sorted. And we can probably park up this trailer now. Now, I haven't got as much time left this afternoon as I was hoping, but the plan is that we are going to crack on with mulching Newfield and Stone Enfield. Stone Enfield needs some lime as it's come up with its periodic lime needs. And then I'm hoping we can manure spread both fields as well to hopefully get drilling either this month or next month. We will have to wait and see. But let's just park up the truck and we can jump in the Kirovets because we need to grab the big mulcher. Good to be back in the Kirovets. Right, I think the roller is in the shed yonder. Here it is. Right, I think I'm going to get both fields mulched up fairly quickly and then we can get to the liming and manure needs of each field. Last slithers taken care of and given the grass a little bit of a trim as well. So we can raise up and fold up this behemoth. This mulcher slash roller is very, very efficient, I gotta say. Can whiz round. And I was doing 2 headlands there just to give us some good turning space at either end of the fields, Newfield and Stone Enfield. Right, let's get this parked up. And it's 2 o'clock, so I'm hoping we've still got enough time to lime manure spread. Whether we got time for drilling or not, that is to be determined. We will see. This is probably our last opportunity to drill canola, but if we leave it till next month, we hopefully will be able to drill wheat or barley, but we have just done that, so canola would be a welcomed change. Right, mulcher dropped off, and I think we'll leave the Kirovets there for now, because the next tractor we need is the International, and that is here. So let's hop in. Nice to be back in the International after using the new Volvo for West Creek Farm last month. And I gotta say, the Volvo did a grand job, but it's not the same as our good old International. We have built a bond with this tractor, so do enjoy using it. Right, as stated, it's going to be liming first of Stone Enfield, and then hopefully we'll be able to get both manured up as well. Last bit all limed up. There we go. Fantastic. Right, so we'll get the lime spreader parked up. Well, spreader I should say, because it can do lime and it also can do solid fertilizer. Now, if it wasn't for the stockpile of manure we already have, I think we've got 50,000 litres of manure in the dovecote, we would potentially look to spread solid fertilizer using this spreader, and it could potentially be a faster job because this has a wider width than our manure spreader. But because we have manure in plentiful stock, I think we will stick to using manure, and I think we'll be sticking to using manure for a long time to come because we have a good amount of straw. Let's park this up and we can switch to the manure spreader and get that underway. And I'm thinking time wise now we may have to leave the drilling till next month, unfortunately, but nonetheless that is not too much of a problem. It just means we are going to be drilling slightly different crops, and maybe I could get around to drilling if I could park correctly. Trusty spreader is here, and I don't think we'll ever need to upgrade this spreader because it is absolutely fantastic. Right, we can fill up with manure and kick off the process whilst we're at it. Here we go, the old French dovecote. We have 100,000 litres of straw ready to process, so we'll activate that. And we've got 40,000 litres of manure left after filling up the spreader. Right, let's get to chucking the muck. Tiniest of slithers to just clear up, and that is both Newfield and Stone Enfield manured up. Fantastic. Now I think it's fair to say that it's been definitely easier to see the work done and the progress made in Stone Enfield versus Newfield. Newfield, it was quite difficult to see where we had mulched and where we hadn't. I was actually using the weeds when we were mulching to see where I had and hadn't been. But funnily enough, Stone Enfield, it was nice and easy to see where we'd mulched, and also nice and easy to see where we had manure spread. And again, in Newfield, when we were manure spreading, I was kind of using the tracks and the little patches of what looks like clumps of straw to see where we had and hadn't been. So I'm not really sure the reason for that. We had wheat in Newfield and barley in Stone Enfield. So from my perspective, there shouldn't really have been a difference in terms of ground condition from harvested wheat or harvested barley, but maybe harvested barley is just a little more prominent with some of the ground foliage that comes around. But yep, nonetheless, we have got both fields nicely prepped now, so the only thing that is left to do is drilling. And despite my best intentions to get those fields drilled, we have run out of time today. Can't get both fields drilled, so it's not worth me starting that job. But I don't think we are going to have any harvests ready next time, apart from potentially maybe the sorghum that's at West Creek. So if we consult the map, we can see that we've got Newfield and Stone Enfield nicely applied with the primary level of fertilizer. They will get the secondary dose when we do the drilling. And if we take a look at growth, the sunflower in Farmside Field is not in the last stage, and nor is the sugar beet, so they are not going to be ready next month. However, over at West Creek, the sorghum is definitely in the last stage of growth, so that will be probably ready to harvest next month. But the corn that's in the lower field, that is still growing, so we are going to have the sorghum next month ready to harvest most likely, and then 3 harvests, the corn, the sugar beet and the sunflower as late season harvests, which will be good. So that is going to leave us with a good couple of months free, and that's quite fitting that we've actually left the drilling, because that will keep us busy next month. But that is it for today. We have been dealing with some badly behaving bales, but nonetheless we got them all captured and put into the dovecote and also the hayloft. And then we moved on to the field prep of Newfield and Stone Enfield. But I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, feel free to leave a comment. But all there's left to say is I hope to see you again next time on the Dark Forest. And until then, I'll catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.